Before we get started, I apologize for any mispronunciations that may happen. Also, this case is difficult. There's the possibility that someone murdered 26 people, and yet there is very little information or evidence. I am going to do my best to cover it. Just so everyone knows, I will be talking about brutal murders, so no one under 18, and even then, viewer discretion is strongly advised. So let's get started. In the mid-1980s, homeless people on the streets of Bombay, now Mumbai, and Calcutta were being gruesomely murdered. The city of Bombay officially became Mumbai in 1995. I will be referring to it as Mumbai from here on out. The killings in Mumbai spanned from 1985 to 1988. In this time frame, 12 people would be found murdered in the same brutal fashion, their skulls crushed by a large stone while they were sleeping. It wasn't until the 6th murder that the police began to see a pattern. One homeless waiter survived their attack and managed to escape. Unfortunately, the area was dimly lit at the time of the attack, and the victim was sleeping, so they were unable to get a look at the assailant. Shortly after this attack, another person was found hacked to death in a suburb. The media and police linked this crime with the others. As suddenly as these murders began, they ended. These type of murders ended in 1988 in Mumbai, but unfortunately they started again just this time in Calcutta. The first victim in Calcutta was a woman. She made some money by selling moonshine, but nevertheless was still among the homeless. She died of injuries to her head. In June of 1989, whoever was doing the killing hiked up the violence. They killed 12 more people in the span of only 6 months. Panic began to spread through the city. All 12 of these victims were homeless and murdered while they were sleeping. Most of these murders took place in central Calcutta. This caused the police to act, and they began patrolling the city at night. Ultimately, they resorted to making a number of arrests of suspicious peoples and questioned them. Nothing came up. No confessions, no evidence. So all those arrested were eventually released. Then the killings stopped as abruptly as they did before. Although the sets of murders aren't officially linked, I am going to talk about the MO as if they are, because the victims and the way they were murdered are the same. The victims were all homeless people who slept on the streets. They probably did not have much family or friends, as most of the bodies were not picked up by anyone or even identified. The murderer attacked the victims in the early morning, before the sun was up. They would find a person sleeping on a desolate street by themselves and would crush their skull with a single stone that could have weighed as much as 30 kilograms or roughly 66 pounds. Police had no eyewitnesses or other evidence. They assumed that if it was one killer, that it would have to be a tall, well-built man. They also suspected that the man would be mentally unstable. The public initially was apathetic to the situation, but panic did spread. People began to become afraid of leaving their homes early in the morning. The English-language print media of Calcutta gave the murderer the moniker of the Stoneman Killer, and it stuck. Both police departments have yet to solve these murders. At the time of recording, the police in Mumbai and Calcutta have no suspects and no real leads. The police don't know if all the killings are by the same persons, or if they're copycat killers. During the heavy police patrol in Calcutta, crime decreased a considerable amount, but they didn't get anywhere on the murders. People have been critical of the police work that was being done, or rather not being done at the time. In an LA Times article from October 9th, 1989, Rockpal Singh, Deputy Commissioner of Calcutta's Police Department, was quoted as saying, quote, "In the first 3 or 4 murders, we did not have an idea that it might be methodical or the work of a single person. And initially, yes, I do admit some lack of concern because these victims were, after all, just pavement dwellers." End quote. A human rights group also alleges that the people that were arrested and questioned were tortured during their interrogations. Rumors and theories spread quickly through the panicked cities. There was a rumor that a killer was working on tantric instructions to gain spiritual goals. Some believe that the murders were done by a group of people, and some believe that the killings were the ominous work of a supernatural entity. Although the official serial killings ended in 1989, there have been other murders with identical signatures since, and this is where it furthers the confusion and myth. In 2004, a 55-year-old man who worked as a rickshaw puller was found on a footpath of Ashtushmokirji Road in Howrah. His head had been crushed by a heavy stone, rendering his face beyond recognition. The Bali police station later identified the man as Jadeo Rajak. He was a resident of Rajan Seth Lane. He had left his home shortly before, following an argument with his wife and 3 sons over his drinking. The official police report denies that this killing is linked with the Stoneman murders. A 65-year-old man was found outside of a shopping mall in June of 2013, murdered in the same fashion of the Stoneman killings. He was identified as Shakuntala Jadhav. Thank you for watching my video, and I'm sorry for any mispronunciations that I probably ended up doing. I mean no disrespect to anyone. If I missed any information, please let me know in the comments section below. And also please remember to be respectful in the comments section below. These are real people who lost their lives. If you found this topic interesting, please leave it a like and check out my other videos. I have some similar videos on my channel. I'd like to take this time to thank my subscribers. You guys are awesome. And as always, stay safe, take care of each other, and sleep tight.